Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has put the province's economic recovery at the center of his plans. Now, part of that is to champion the township economy. It also has some ambitious energy plans. Lesufi also promised to take the fight against crime high-tech with panic buttons as well as drones. But for now, it remains promises. Well, the Premier joins us in studio. Mr. Panyaza Lesufi, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for your time.
No, it's a pleasure to have you. Some very bold and ambitious plans. Some politicians, I'm sure you've heard the criticism after, saying it might be pie in the sky. Let's stick to the basics and minimize the sort of letting down of community members. Your take on just the criticism before we get to the meat of that address?
Well, criticism is part of our lives. So if you don't embrace criticism, you will not grow. When we promised to scrap e-tolls, no one believed us. They said, no, there's no way that you can scrap e-tolls. They're gone now. When we said we'll recruit 6,000 young people to be trained so that they can be police people in our province, no one believed us. Those 6,000 young people are in training. And when we said we'll buy helicopters, no one believed us. Those helicopters are in our hangars now. When we said we'll buy drones, no one thought we'll buy those drones. Those drones have been delivered. We said we'll buy 400 police cars. We've donated 75 cars already to the police. The 400 cars are in our garages.
So there is some sort of movement, quite a lot, significant indeed. Let's start with the crime-fighting mechanisms or your interventions. You talk of panic buttons. I'm sure you've seen already the response to that yes, most certainly it's needed. We are really struggling with crime. But the capacity, on the other hand, yes, the vehicles may be there, but some are saying you need to fill then vacancies within SAPS because many people will be logging these calls, but who will come to their aid?
If you look for SAPS alone, answers from SAPS alone, I think we'll be missing the point. There are 10,000 private security firms or companies that have pledged to work with us. 10,000.
How would that work?
We are under one command. We are bringing SAPS, we are bringing the traffic police, Gauteng police, SAPS and all the traffic under one command, and we are working through our technology to work together through CCTVs. They will utilize our CCTVs. We are utilizing the CCTV. So when you press a panic button, whoever is closer, whether it's SAPS or private security or Gauteng police, will be the first one to respond. So we are ready for this. We have
so within that relationship, how would the private sector be incentivized? Because for them, they are for profit. We would love for them to think of our safety first, but they were designed to actually pursue profit. So what would be the incentive for them that when I press a panic button, I'm not a customer of theirs. When they run, what happens?
We've met a day with them, all of them. They committed that will give support. And we are working on those modalities that if they give support, how will we incentivize? So we are not announcing something that we are still thinking about. It's already there. It's happening. We had a session with them. All our big four private companies, security companies in our province have committed to make their resources also available for us. So if we are in a certain community and there are police will respond. If you're in a certain community, there's a private company, they will respond. And we'll have one central command to clear all matters that need to be cleared. But already we're working together.
Premier, many would say the detail is in the devil. So hopefully there'll be greater detail at a later point around how much perhaps it's going to cost the taxpayer. But beyond this, let's talk about the township economy. Many were quite impressed, I must say, saying that your address really spoke to the ordinary man. It wasn't just an address that spoke to a specific LSM. Many ordinary citizens would have found that you took time to address the issues that plague them, be it the backroom dwellers, Abomastandi. Talk to us about some of the initiatives there, starting with that initiative to assist those backroom owners.
Yeah, we have characterized our townships as the new gold. We've got numbers there. We've got lots and lots of people there. And we've got lots and lots of businesses there. So if we can just customize and support those businesses, they will create opportunities for everyone. And they will push the products. Lots and lots of products are there. But it's a market that is not regulated and a market that has been invaded by foreign citizens or people that are not South Africans. So we need to reclaim that space first. So what we did, we passed a law in Parliament, the Township Economic Development Act, and led all political parties from your Freedom Front, DA, supported that law. And now it paves the way for us to financially give support to this. And there are two areas. One, we're buying on bulk the common stuff. your tissue paper, your soap,
Oh, yes.
common things. So we're
similar
buying
to the
back.
business model that was used by the foreign nationals that own the spaza
We're
shops.
buying them, and then we're having distribution centers. Distribution centers, it means you come and say, I needed this stock. You send your stock. When you come, you pick up your stock, you go there, and then we'll have the financing so that you get running, you get goals. And we're also rebranding those stores so that people know these are South African stores. So there's a form of branding that we have. Our mustard is a huge economy. We are just exploiting it. Everyone go to major township, people are putting back rooms and other things, but it's not regulated as well. The plans are not approved, so everyone can just build. We want them to regulate it, but we are giving people money. We've set aside now for the first time an amount of 500 million for them, so that you can say, I need somebody who can be an architect, a certificate of electricity, someone who will design my plans and other things, and I pay them. And when I get somebody, I will repay you as the state. So we're putting all those particular systems. So, and the taxi ranks are huge in our townships. So we want to modernize them and have taxi ranks of the future where you'll have restaurants there, you will service your car there, you'll buy your tires and all these things, you'll have your ATMs there, so that a taxi rank becomes a one-stop shop for all our communities.
Citizens
so
that wouldn't be that
that's
mobile.
the huge drive, but you can't do that with bumpy roads that are not paved.
Most certainly.
So that is why we're getting to clear the dusty roads also in the township so that they can be accessed. Delivery cars can come in. They don't have to fear any other thing, including the issue of crime, because we don't want people to come invest in the townships and they're attacked as well. Hence the investment that we're putting in the
I want to
townships.
pick your brain or take you back to the taxi ranks of the future.
Yep.
It sounds very convenient. Somebody will purchase their goods here, quickly jump onto a taxi, and then they're home. But then there's one aspect that we heard very little of, or not at all, e-hailing. There's been a back and forth between taxi owners and the e-hailing services that want to be in the townships purely because one would think it's convenient for ugogo. That if you've gone to a taxi rank, you've taken a taxi, there's a specific route it takes. Sometimes it cannot take you to your doorstep. So there would be that added convenience. But in most instances, the e-hailing services would say there are certain areas where they cannot go because they would be assaulted.
It's purely because the pie is too small. People are narrow in their approach. And then we have appointed a judge to lead a commission of inquiry to check on all these fights. So I've got the report now, what causes these fights, how can we resolve it. The resolution is quite expensive, but we have to enter that particular space because it says have designated areas for e-hailing. Like at the airport, you know they're confined to a certain area. So to have that in each and every township will be a costly exercise. Because if you have an area that is just designated for e-hailing services, it will make things easier for the taxi ranks so that they can have their own area, so that there's not a battle for turf. Some of the recommendations that are on the table, but they're very costly. We'll find a way of resolving them, but it's a valid point, what you are raising.
And then solar, that was a big one. The solar farm, 800 megawatts. We certainly are in crisis insofar as electricity, and we're seeing what is happening even with the Western Cape, where most of these provinces now are trying to take charge and just also assist in resolving this bigger crisis of electricity. Talk to us about that.
We're excited about that, and I want to thank my predecessor, Premier David Makura, for the vision. He started it almost a year ago. When we came in 4 months ago, we just accelerated it. So we are now certain we've appointed 6 developers, so they're going to 10 sort in the next few weeks, and then hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have 800 megawatts to contribute to minimize load shedding. So if there is stage 1 or 2 load shedding, we might not have it completely in our province. But we're not doing that alone. We're also capacitating the municipalities because 2 of our municipalities, Tshwane and Johannesburg, they've got power plants that we can support and capacitate and give us an extra energy.
Premier, we are none the wiser on e-tolls around the funding model or mechanisms there. I even listened straight after your speech. I listened to Solim Simang from the Democratic Alliance, still emphasizing that it will come in the detail. We'll only have greater clarity in the detail. We're still none the wiser. How are we looking to fund the refurbishment of our roads or maintenance of our roads?
I'm crossing my fingers. The budget speech later this afternoon will have some line or 2 lines on this matter. But we have to pass this because it was a system that was going to collapse. It's just that sometimes South Africans, when something they see operating, they think is fine. Let me tell you, we've got 47 billion debt. People are not paying, so are not repaying the debt. So because people are not paying, we've already paid 26 billion on interest of 47 billion.
The principal debt remains.
It remains the same, but we've already paid 26 billion. So why can't we just deal with the 47 billion and finish it? But if you want to postpone it by paying 20, it will be, maybe now it's 27 billion, but the principal debt is still there. But we've already paid 27 billion.
And that was the question of opposition, that there's money that's being put in, but somehow we're still stuck with this principal
So
debt.
that is why we took a decision. Let's cut the umbilical cord, face the debt, 47 billion, pay 70%, I'll pay 30%, then we're off. And then we can concentrate on the maintenance and many other things. And I think we've taken the correct decision. That's why I'm crossing my fingers on how
we'll be watching attentively.
The 70% will be financed by national and how we'll be assisted on the 30%.
All right. No, Gauteng residents will most certainly just listen attentively to hear what is being said about e-tolls. And just in closing, you're fresh from the education portfolio. Some of us can still mistakenly call you the MEC of Education.
Yeah.
On education, I'm sure you saw the crisis.
Yeah.
Even now with the placements, it still continues. And at the heart of it is the need for more schools to be built because of urbanization. Many people want to live in Gauteng.
Indeed.
What is the broader plan?
We've put 6 billion to build new schools, especially in high-pressure areas. We are Alberton, south, the south of our province, or the Churena area, and the Sandton, Woodmead, Midrand, and the Centurion area, and the Pretoria North part of it. So we've put 6 billion to put those new schools. But nationally, we applied to national to say, give us 5 billion to eradicate wrong schools, your informal or mobile schools or asbestos schools. They gave us 1.5 billion. So we've got now 7.8 billion that we think that will eliminate. So we're going out for proposal for private people who will make our new school, who will build our new school. So we have almost, say, 8 billion to build new schools this year alone. So hopefully it will alleviate the pressure that you've alluded to.
Hopefully it will. Will we ever see a time where a number of Indian, white, colored teachers would feel safe enough to even teach at a school in Soweto? Will that time ever come where those schools are capacitated, where young graduates of any other race would be keen? Because I know you're somebody that's passionate about non-racialism, and we do see that some of the schools are ill-equipped. We feel bad for the teachers that are there when we go and report. Will there ever come a time where we really can see this non-racialism happening, where teachers from all walks of life are working at some of these schools in the location?
Can I take you to Katleong High? Katleong High. The principal is white. There are white learners there in a township. It's our school of specialization because we have modified it. It's attracting other people that are coming to our township. I want to invite you to that.
No, I most certainly will be coming there.
Thanks.
Very impressive. Premier, thank you very much for your time this morning. That was Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi talking to us about the state of the province address that he delivered on Monday.